entertainment industry and comedy industry on your own. You've been working hard on your own. But let me say this in no uncertain terms. We, the black media, you are the radio media. I suggest that you get over here and join us and become a part of joining forces with us as quickly as possible, because Tom Joyner once upon a time was sitting in. Tom Joyner once upon a time himself. I ain't got to worry about them dudes online. So worry about that. These white got my back. I want you to be aware, Ricky Smiley. We got Tom Joyner the block. And if you don't start changing your colors, intended, if you don't start changing your colors, we can get you the block too. Tom Joyner once upon a time thought that he was he thought he was invincible. And it's a new day. Ricky, to the amount of time to get, because just like I spent the last decade talking about Tom Joyner, I can spend the next decade or years. But let's be very clear. If you don't keep it street, if you don't keep it black empowerment, if you are a pretender to the throne, if you don't that you do things now, I'm going to give you a chance to get your act together, Ricky. I'm going to give you a chance to get your act together. But understand something, that spotlight's on you now. And if you think the white media is going to save you, you better think again. You better ask Tom Joyner if we're able to suck the oxygen out of him. You better ask Tom Joyner what the black media can do. You better ask him. Hell, y'all better ask the Breakfast Club. I couldn't notice the list of guests on the Breakfast Club has been looking real damn shallow lately, ain't it? That list of guests on the Breakfast Club lately, boy, it's looking weak. It's looking weak. It's looking weak. It's looking weak over there. All of these old black media outlets are acknowledging the new black media. They're all acknowledging us. All of them. But understand, it's a new day. It's a new day. Yes, I know y'all are very suspicious about Ali. That's why I am. I'm putting him on. Ricky, we ran Tom up off the block. Don't think for a second we can't run you up off the block. This isn't a comedy show. This isn't a Netflix special. This isn't a comedy routine. Rules ain't gonna work over here. Rules aren't gonna save you over here. You've come into our arena. Play by our rules now. And if you think a multi-million-dollar check and a syndication deal is going to save you, you better ask Steve Harvey, you better ask Tom Joyner, you better ask Roland Martin, you better ask all these other people who were sitting in the chair that you're about to be sitting in. You better ask your predecessors what happened to them. You better ask them what happened and who did it. And when they take you behind closed doors and start to sing to you the song of the new black media, you got a choice to make. But let's be very clear, we ain't going no damn where. We're posting up, we're on point, we're on patrol, we are always ready. 24 hours a day, scouts are on the lookout. There's a zero tolerance policy. Also, we got a hands-off policy. I know I'm going deep into the prison slang tonight. We got a hands-off policy. Like the Latino gangs and the white gangs in prison, we got a hands-off policy. What does that mean? That means that we got beef, we ain't throwing hands. If the beef is on, it's shanking. Ain't no hands. If the situation gets that serious, we ain't out for hands, we out to shank. Tom Joyner had 3 decades to join with us. Tom Joyner had 3 decades to represent black society. He chose to represent himself. So when you all ask, Jason, are you blowing smoke about being the black media? Are you blowing smoke about it? How do you really know that y'all got it like that? Tom Joyner is leaving the stage, and we are being talked about by the major publications, Democratic presidential frontrunners, the ones who failed. They're talking about us. They're not talking about mush-mouth, mumble-mouth attorneys. They're talking about us. And I told you since Kamala Harris got yanked out the game that those people went behind closed doors and said, we got to do something about this Black Channel thing. We have to address that. We have to address the phrases that are specifically made by them. The new black media. Cut the check. Black empowerment. You heard her saying it in the CBS News piece. Black empowerment. Cut the check. New black media. Hell yeah, they've been having all kinds of meetings about us. All kinds. All kinds. No, we're not here to support DACA, and we're not here to support we are here to support black empowerment. Don't you dare say the name of the new black years. That's us. Don't you sit up here and try to imprint them now because you're just a damn gullible Negro. The work that you see getting done now and the progress that you're seeing happening now, that is a direct sole result of our efforts. And if you're so easily fooled that you're allowing nothings and nobodies to sit up here and fool you, go over there with them. We're getting the work done over here. The national conversation is changing. We are knocking the old players off the board, left, right, and center. Why? Because Tom Joyner lost so much of his audience that his employers could no longer justify paying him. Do you understand that? He lost so much of his audience, so much of his audience has come to us that his employers lost their justification to continue paying him. This was a war of attrition and we won. Because I don't have a multi-million-dollar beach house. I'm too busy being among my people. I don't have a $500,000 car. I'm too busy being among my people. I'm too busy of the noise, the white noise and the detritus. Now my next statement is to the Democratic Party. Oh, it's a new day. You thought you were gonna prop up your own trying to pump and breathe new life into the dead black media. Go ahead. Then you are going to have to speak to us. Isn't an option anymore. It's not an option anymore. Black media is dead. Cory Booker was betting on the old media, and now he can't make it into the working on the internet. Andrew Yang has Andrew Yang has put his internet game together. But these other people who were betting on the old black media, betting on bootlick media, that ain't gonna work. These guys who are betting on media, that isn't gonna work for you. You wish, because these are the puppets that you paid for and put together, but it isn't gonna work anymore. So you can keep trying it, but it's not going to work. So you're either gonna deal with the black media or you are going to deal with a lot of L's. Because that's the only thing that's going to happen. You're either going to deal with the black media, or you're going to deal with a lot of L's. That's what's going to occur. Now, we don't have to play with you. We don't have to play with you at all. We're able to get this done ourselves. We don't have to play with you, period. Not one bit. People, you wanted to know about results. You wanted to know about whether things were changing. You wanted to know who controls the narrative. You wanted to know if things are different. You wanted to know if this new black thing is just a catchy slogan or if it's a real concrete thing. It's a real concrete thing. They did not pass the torch to us. We busted them in the jaw and we took the torch from them. That is what we did. They didn't give us nothing. Power was not given. Power was taken. But they didn't give us a damn thing. Now they're upset about it and they're mad about it and they're everything else about it. But let's be clear. They didn't give us nothing. They didn't give us anything. We took it. And now we are going to deliver it to the people. That's what we're going to do. And everybody who's on board, you're going to the promised land. Everybody who is not, you're going to Tom Joynerville. But let me say this one last time for everybody, for all of my brothers and sisters from around the world. We are the black media. The agenda is black empowerment, and black empowerment is measured in dollars. Now you understand the agenda. You can have all the history you want, all the education you want, all the politics you want. If you're the poorest people in the world, those things have no value. Our economic game is going to determine the value of everything else. It is not an end unto itself, but it determines the value of everything else. And this is the way it's going to be going forward. If you are new here to the black media, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend. We are growing by leaps. We are growing by huge amounts. We are growing by vast differences between us and the old black media. We chose empowerment. They chose extinction. And if you want to be a part of this, click that red subscribe button and then click the yellow notification bell and check your settings for notifications to make sure that you are getting all notifications. I do know that YouTube has us under something of a shadow ban, and I get that. So make sure you check back with us here for new videos every weekend. Make sure you check back at this same time every weekend. They used to ask, what is it that we do? They used to ask, what is it that we've accomplished? Now they're asking us, why are you making so much trouble? That's what they're asking us now. They used to ask, what are y'all getting done? Now they're asking, why did you have to do that? Yeah, they're not asking, what are you getting done anymore? Now they're asking, why you had to do them like that? Why'd you have to do Tom like that? Why'd you have to do Roland like that? Why'd you have to do Kamala Harris like that? Why'd you have to do Hillary Clinton like that? And coming soon, why did you have to do Joe Biden like that? Our record of accomplishments is growing. Hell, lately it's growing every week. This is the black media. If your presidential candidates do not talk to us, their chances of getting into office have decreased exponentially. But let us be clear. Everybody who isn't serving black people's interests, we getting you up off the block. And I know it's going to be new phonies and fakers who are going to try to saunter up. Nobody knows who you are. You think you're going to sit up here and smuggle your way in and sneak your way in? No, we got the game locked down. And real recognizes real. If you have not been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, that is blackchannelfilms.com, go there now. Check out our documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified, Ethnic Cleansing American Style, our newest documentary, Race War. Amazon, all of streaming. See what it looks like when you have an actual black media. See why Tom Joyner has gotten run off the radio by us. See why the people are migrating to us every day, every week, every time. Join us. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio program. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is the new black media.
Hold on, I just happened to caught on to this video here. Everybody listens. Yeah, I just caught middle of this speech here. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have any commentary on it at this time, but I'm gonna do a subsequent video as to what was being discussed, and it looks like basically what I caught on to was the old black media doesn't have any influence on us any longer. And the white political establishment is terrified because all of these blue check Negroes are finally getting a wake up call in which their platform, which is their old black media platform, is not working like it used to be. So that's basically what Sky Daddy was saying. If I can like I said, if I could find the video, I'm sure it's not gonna take that much to really find it. You know what I'm saying? I could actually go back to the beginning. And excuse me. I could actually go back to the beginning. Up until the point where I plugged in to watch. And the title of the video is The New Era. And indeed, it is a new era. Not just in black politics, but in black culture as well. The same tricks that the white political establishment has tried on us on through the years it's not working any longer. So they're going to have to come up with something. And believe me, they are going to have to come up with something in order to combat what we are already doing. So it's so they really gotta recalibrate themselves, because these powers that shouldn't be, they ain't done yet. Trust me, they are not done yet. Oh, they got some more tricks up their sleeve. More tricks up their sleeve. And once I get to this Sky Daddy's video here, we're gonna go ahead and play it. Here it is. And if I could get on his channel here. And like he said before, some of these channels like this are going to be shadow banned. And with the new rules that YouTube has unleashed, yeah, expect to see a whole lot more shadow banning of certain YouTube channels. YouTube channels that are not based off of the authority of Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC. And I might end up playing another video if I could find it. I should take me long to find this for my secular talk. He was just talking about that, about the new YouTube changes, because you know they just changed their guidelines December 10th. So slowly but surely they're gonna start clamping down on some of our channels here. So expect to see that to take place as well in the coming weeks. But yeah, this is the video right here, the new era. And I'm going to play it from the beginning.
After waiting so long for this day, allow me a few moments to just savor this. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media. And this is the BlackChannel.net radio program, and I am, of course, your host, your brother, your unapologetic but humble servant, the Black Authority, the voice of Black America. Broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. Wasn't dependent on a check from Oprah Winfrey, Bill Cosby, Tom Joyner, the federal government, or any damn body else. And you are, of course, welcome to join us. Oh, and join us you shall, because on tonight's program, oh yes, we are celebrating. We are celebrating because, understand something, we are not a place that says things because it's trendy. We are not a place that says things hoping that it works out. We are not a place that says what we wish would occur. We are the black media, and they call this the haven of intelligent black thought because we tell you what's going to happen long before it does. We tell you what's coming around the corner. And for years now, I have predicted and told you all what was going to happen. That we chose specific targets. And one of our primary targets were the internal puppets of white supremacy disseminating their disinformation among black people. Telling black people that our only choice was to vote for whoever was putting money in the pockets of these puppets. And these individuals for decades now have made good. Oh, they made out real good before now. Before now, your old black media that had a lot more reach and a lot more resources than we got, and yet black folk kept getting poorer, and the politicians kept demonizing us and oppressing us more. So I see a correlation between Tom Joyner's income rising and black America's prospects falling. I see a direct correlation. So let's understand something. These old niggas from the old black media have had decades. They have had decades to use the phrase white supremacy. Never did. They could have talked to Dr. Claude Anderson, could have talked to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, could have talked to Amos Wilson, could have talked to Dr. John Henry Clark, but they were the puppets of the white system, and so these individuals didn't have a voice on these old plantation media platforms. Now, there might be some of you in here who are the slow bus kids. You're the short bus kids. And you want somebody to sit up here and tell you that Tom Joyner is okay because you used to get up in the mornings when your grandmama used to turn on her 1957 RCA Tube Master. And you used to listen to Tom Joyner in the mornings because you're concerned about being entertained. And while you were busy with this low-level bootleg entertainment, the rest of the factions in America were gaining power. And you're still talking about being entertained. Someone tell me, what were Tom Joyner's wins? What battles did he win? Tell me what battles Tom Joyner won. Tell me what forces of white supremacy Tom Joyner defeated. In all those decades, with all these black people giving him all this adoration, tell me what he won. Tell me all of the L's that white supremacy took because of him. With his national radio program. Tell me the L's that white supremacy took. And now we are witnessing as the final returns are coming in, and it's getting worse for him. And it's become a situation where now he's had to concede that he has lost so much of his audience that his employers, did you get that? His employers, for all of you old house niggas that were telling yourselves that he was self-employed, no, his employers kept cutting his paycheck. So I know there's a bunch of old mammies and old coon niggas who want to say garbage. Tom Joyner was an employee, not an employer. Everybody there was an employee. Well, now, CBS this morning announced that Tom Joyner has told them that he's hanging it up. But listen to why he told them that he's hanging it up. And the reason why he says that he's throwing in the towel tells you it's a new day. We haven't confronted the old black media. We have defeated them. And it's a new day now. So listen for yourself.
Radio giant has or is signing off this morning after a legendary career. 70-year-old Tom Joyner is the host of America's #1 syndicated urban morning show. The Tom Joyner Morning Show airs in more than 105 markets nationwide, reaching nearly 8 million listeners. Well, today at 10 a.m. Eastern, the show goes off the air. Unbelievable. Jericka Duncan's here. She traveled to Hollywood, Florida to meet the hardest working man in radio. Jericka, how does it feel about hanging up the mic?
Well, you know, it's bittersweet for Tom Joyner. This is a man who admits he has made a lot of money in radio, but he has also raised a lot of money to support historically black colleges, more than $60 million to be exact. It's clear Joyner loves his job, and he loves the listeners who have been supporting him for the last 25 years.
Celebrities.
Tom Joyner keeps his listeners laughing and learning.
Barbara Hillary, the first black woman to stand on both the North and South Poles. Our thing has always been to empower people, but to empower, we have to first entertain. If I've got you laughing, I've got you listening.
And that was the problem right there. The black Ayatollah is in the building. That's the problem right there with this old nigga. I gotta get you entertained. If you all want to know why we never got nothing accomplished under this bastard, that's why right there. I gotta get you entertained. No, you don't. No, you don't. We need hardcore rock-ribbed information. We need somebody to carry the revolution, and this nigga was concerned about lining his own damn pockets. Let me be a competitor to the rappers and the R&B stars and the actors. This is not entertainment. Jason Black, boy, you yelling, you damn right. I'm watching black folk get gunned down coast to coast. And what should be a beacon for black people to gather around to demand and inflict justice. And he's telling you, oh, no. My primary concern isn't justice. My primary concern is not black empowerment. My primary concern is keeping you entertained. People, let me say this in no uncertain terms. Entertainment and enlightenment occupy. And when a person tells you that it is their priority to keep you entertained, this isn't a joke. This isn't a game. This is life and death. And Tom Joyner has been at the wheel for decades. And what the hell we have to show for all all of his shucking and jiving. Now, some of you bootlick, butt-dance Negroes who keep caping for Tom Joyner and Bill Cosby and the rest of their fossilized ilk, talking about, well, Tom Joyner didn't give a damn dollar. Tom Joyner claims, and I would love to have an audit of those numbers, but he claims that he has helped to facilitate the donation of $60 million to Morehouse and Spelman. And I got a question for you for Morehouse and Spelman. All these HBCUs that have gotten tens of millions of dollars over the decade, what do we have to show for it? At Spelman, Morehouse, Brown, what do we have to show for all those millions of dollars given to these HBCUs? Are any of them challenging Harvard, Yale, Princeton? Are they challenging any of these real schools? There's no difference between Spelman and Grambling, except Grambling's got a better band. And a bunch of you are plantation-minded, and you back in Tom. You are the type of Negroes we got to get rid of. When you see that somebody isn't benefiting us, you're supposed to discard him. You're holding on to him even though he's holding us down. Well, he entertained me. This is why so many of you have married bum niggas your whole lives and will die in poverty, because when it's time to discard the dead weight, you have become emotionally attached to the dead weight. And then you take on cognitive dissonance and you refuse to accept and admit this dead weight. I got a better question for you all. What do black people have to show for all these HBCUs? You got college graduates who can't get a job. You have college graduates who have nowhere to go with their degrees. I'd ask you a better question. What if Tom Joyner had taken that $60 million and put it into a black technology venture capital fund? Mic drop. Oh, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. What would have happened that same $60 million? What if it had been put into a venture capital fund specifically for black internet entrepreneurs? Why do these people in white society, they put venture capital into businesses? In black society, they put venture capital into damn schools. And guess who's running the world? So let's just be very clear about this, people. That $60 million was wasted. It was wasted, it was blown, it was squandered. You ain't gonna get a damn thing for it. Except another ass-kissing, boot-licking, what's her name, Condoleezza Rice, Kamala Harris. That's what you're gonna get for it. That's what you're gonna have to show for it when this jackass is done. Meanwhile, in literally every other racial group in America, that $60 million would have been directly and immediately invested. And Tom Joyner has been the paid-for traitor that the dominant society has put on the radio for the purposes of generationally misleading us and telling us that things that have not worked, HBCUs, well, they're not working. It's taking us backwards. We're failing. We're investing in these HBCUs, got nothing to show for it, but keep investing. HBCUs. They keep telling you to do the same damn things that don't work. They keep telling you to do the same stuff that doesn't work. It's failed. It fails over and over again, but they keep telling you, keep doing that. But they don't tell the white kids, the Asian kids, the Latino kids, the Middle Eastern kids, they don't tell them that. They don't tell them that. Not at all. But understand what he comes out the gate with. I gave $60 million to HBCUs. I'm here to entertain you first. And that's the reason that this nigga has been a traitor to us the whole damn time.
His nationally syndicated radio show hit the airwaves in 1994 with a certain audience in mind.
We do a show for African Americans. That's what we do. This is just so fascinating.
In 2000.
Wow. If you want to know why Roland Martin rolls with this nigga, that's why right there. Oh yes. Oh yes, I'm my boots on their necks. Did you all hear that? We do a show for African Americans. I mean, he couldn't damn me get it out. He couldn't get it out. When it was time to actually refer to black people directly, he couldn't get it out. Oh no, I'm not making it up. I'll go ahead and replay it for you. This is unedited. This isn't me editing anything. This is him.
Show hit the airwaves in 1994 with a certain audience in mind.
We do a show for African Americans. That's what we do.
No, you do a scam and propaganda to mislead and deceive people for African Americans. That's what you do. But people, he couldn't even say it outright. He was mentally blocked. Couldn't even say it outright. Couldn't even get it out. No, I'm not having no damn mercy. Could you all have imagined where would black people be today if Tom Joyner had been the Rush Limbaugh? And by the way, Rush Limbaugh rose to prominence at the same time Tom Joyner did. Where would black people be today if Tom Joyner had christened his platform to be the black counter movement to Rush Limbaugh and the neocons and the ultra-right wing? Where would we be today if Dr. John Henry Clark, individuals like Dr. John Henry Clark, like Chancellor Williams, if Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing had had a platform there to be able to speak to millions of black people? It wasn't because Tom Joyner didn't know who they were. It was because Tom Joyner is the enemy on the inside, and he was working with the dominant society to make sure that we remained where we are. It's not accidental. They knew, they know, they still do. To hell with Tom Joyner.
This is just so fascinating.
In 2000, Joyner discussed his influence with 60 Minutes correspondent Leslie Stahl.
1996, the election.
Yeah.
I've heard that you were responsible for registering 250,000 black voters.
I've been given that credit.
Politicians, they call you.
Oh,
They want to come on.
Yeah. They think that if they want to reach African Americans that vote, they
You're the guy.
they can come to this show.
How?
Well, I'm so glad that that era is over, people. He just told you how it was that he intended to keep his head from going on the damn chopping block. He just told you what his job was. Oh, I'm here to register black folk to go vote Democrat. So he's telling you what his mission was. He's telling you what it was. I'm so damn glad that this era has come to an end.
How does the message that you were talking about in 2000 resonate with 2019 as we go into the 2020 election?
It was different then. I think we're more woke then than now.
Now, did you all hear this bootlicking nigga? Did you all hear this ham-headed, buck-dancing bastard? So, the chick from CBS this morning asked him, what do you think is different from 2000 to 2019? Now the guy who was so happy when he was talking to Leslie Stahl, everything was going his way. You want to reach black folk, you got to come here. I represent the black community. Now that the new black media has booted his ass, now he's talking that Obama stuff. That tells you that they all got together. They all got together and talked to each other. They all got together and talked to each other and said the problem is this new black media. And you're using the term woke. This ain't about woke. This is about power. Remember, Barack Obama said you don't want to get so woke that you give up my legacy. You don't want to toss my legacy. Oh no, we're holding on to your legacy as an example of what we are never to do. So Tom Joyner is telling you all that from 2000 to 2019, he lost his grip and he lost his control of the conversation and the narrative in black society. That's what he's upset about. While we was more woke back when I could mislead a million black folk into supporting my paymasters, we was more woke back then. I don't give a damn about whether you think we were more woke. Were we more empowered back then than we are now? And you can't say that, Tom. And you played a direct role in making sure that didn't happen. To hell with Tom Joyner.
In 2000.
In 2000.
In 2000.
That show.
How does the message that you were talking about in 2000 resonate with 2019 as we go into the 2020 election?
It was different then. I think we're more woke then than now.
In 2000.
In 2000.
What day is it?
Joyner says super serving the African American community has been the secret to his success.
Don't worry about crossover. Just super serve, super serve, super serve. Anything that affects African Americans, that's what you do. Just worry about connecting to people and their needs.
Did anything that affects black people? Tom, police brutality. Tom, Barack Obama calling the black freedom fighters in Baltimore thugs. Tom, inaction by the Congressional Black Caucus. Tom, Uncle Tom Joyner, paging Uncle Tom's Joyner, paging Uncle Tom, paging Uncle Tom. Tell me what the hell he did, people. Tell me what the hell he did. What issues did he touch on other than finding whatever politician the Democrats told him to help them get elected? What else did he do? Did he become a flamethrower when Trayvon Martin was gunned down in the streets? Did Tom Joyner become a flamethrower? When Eric Garner was strangled to death, did Tom Joyner become a flamethrower? Were black people concerned about that, Uncle Tom Joyner? When the police were out here gunning black people down for the 8 years under Barack Obama, was Tom Joyner a flamethrower? No, he got rid of anybody and fired anybody who spoke about it. That's the reason your ass is gone, Tom. And let us be very, very clear. He didn't decide to leave. He got booted out the door, but not by his white paymasters. He got booted out the door by the new black men.
He was born and raised in Alabama, one of many cities that helped shape the civil rights movement.
I was a fat kid, and they served great food at civil rights marches. Oh, my God, the chicken was good.
People, now you just heard that damn sound bite. Now, if you're still a Tom Joyner fan and a Tom Joyner follower after hearing that bull crap, you got mental and emotional problems. You need to get the hell out of here. He just sat here and told you, I was a fat kid and I was at the marches so that I could get me a free plate. He literally just said it. I'm not making this up. This is on the CBS's YouTube page. You just heard it for yourselves. You just heard it for yourselves. That was his motivation when Professor Black Truth said that these niggas are only concerned about getting fed and going to luncheons. You all thought he was joking. No, that's what the hell they do. They get together and eat. They get together and eat and chase non-black sexual access. I forgot that. They get together to eat and to entertain non-black sexual access. That's the agenda. That's what they do. That's what they're here for. Stop playing about it. Face the reality.
He was born and raised in Tuskegee, Alabama, one of many cities that helped shape the civil rights movement.
I was a fat kid, and they served great food at civil rights marches. Oh, my God, the chicken was good. So radio station in this all-black town, didn't play any black music. And this guy who owned the radio station, which was inside a Ford dealership, came out and said, I don't need this. I'm trying to really sell some cars. Tell you what, it's a sun-up to sundown station. Every Saturday, I'll let one of you play all the Aretha and the Temptations that you want.
That's how it started.
That's how it started.
By the mid-1980s, Joyner earned the nickname Fly Jock. That's because he was offered 2 jobs and took both, flying between Dallas, where he did the morning show, and Chicago, where he was on air in the afternoons. And calling in to congratulate Joyner on his retirement.
Congratulations. I mean, the world's not going to be the same without you.
Yes, the world will not be the same without him, Mammy Oprah. The world is become a much better place, a much freer place, a much more empowered place. You're absolutely right, Mammy Winfrey. The world has become a better place. It is certainly different and not a moment too soon. It absolutely is a different place. That was our goal the entire time, was to make the world different. We are succeeding, and I know you mad as hell over there, because you all know she got a chicken wing hanging out of her mouth too.
Sybil Wilkes co-hosts the show with Joyner from Dallas.
The Tom Joyner Morning Show has been a lifeline for a lot of people who are going through their day-to-day, but it has empowered them. It's entertained.
Skip Gates.
Wow, Skip Gates. So Tom is talking to this Jerica newscaster here about Skip Gates. That's Oprah Winfrey, Skip Gates. Boy, that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Hey, I got a question for you all right now. Serious question, though. Serious. Do you all think I should hire Sybil? Serious question. You know, now that she's not going to be working for Tom anymore, do you all think I should hire Sybil? Do you think I should, I don't know, send her a lifeline? What do you think? What do you think? Think I should contact Sybil and let her know, hey, you know, maybe we'll think about giving you a gig? What do you all think? Do you think that she can even communicate about a serious topic for any real length of time? But what do you all think about me offering Sybil a job? I heard she's going to be out of work soon. I heard she's going to need the money soon. So, I don't know. I'm just asking.
It has empowered them. It's entertained.
Skip Gates.
Entertainment have $10 million a year.
But it got to the point where they would, all right, going to cut your salary in half, okay. And then in half, okay. And then in half 2 years ago, because my salary was based on my results. And not only was I losing affiliates, but radio industry as a whole was losing traction.
There he goes, splaining. But I wanted to go through all of this and savor every morsel so I could get you to this part. And oh yes, I am saying this with maximum snark. I am saying this with maximum attitude. So he told you that the problem is he was losing listenership. The only reason that affiliates drop you is because your number of listeners is falling. So he was making $14 million a year. You heard what he said. They cut it in half and then cut it in half again and then cut it in half again. I was making $14 million. They cut that down to 7. I was making $7 million. They cut that down to 3.5. I was making 3.5. They cut that down to 1.6. So what he's telling you is that right now he's only making somewhere around $1 million a year. And the radio stations were dropping him because his listenership was falling. One question, people, he said radio listenership in general has been falling. No, Tom, yours has been. But I got one question to ask you, Tom. If you have been losing listeners who were listening to you faithfully for years and years and decades, Tom, if you have been losing listeners, where did they go? They didn't get vaporized. They didn't get transported off the planet. Tom Joyner, if you've been losing listeners, where did your listenership go? Where did it go, Tom? Where did it go? If you've been losing listeners and affiliates are dropping you, your listeners went somewhere. They're just not listening to you anymore. But your listeners went somewhere. No, his listeners didn't die. His listeners got empowered. And over the last decade, over the last 10 years, there has arisen a new black media. And the new black media isn't primarily concerned with entertaining, shucking, and jiving. The new black media is concerned with empowering black people. Tom's telling his white paymasters that the way you get black folks' attention is by dancing a jig. Here comes Rolling Bowling Ball Martin. And we're telling you all, the black people aren't looking to be entertained. They're looking to be empowered. Entertainment is a distraction. It's a distraction. And Tom got left behind. He thought he was going to ride this gravy train all the way to his grave. Don't believe me? Listen to him. That's exactly what he says.
If you had been offered more money, would you have stayed longer?
Heck yeah. Shoot, my goal was to die on the radio, have my funeral on the radio.
What's the...
So they're standing there at his beach house. Oh boy, they're there at his beach house overlooking the ocean, overlooking the palms. Boy, these house niggas made out good at black people's expense, didn't they? They made out good. They made out real good at other black people's expense. So Tom is making millions, but the rest of us ain't got a damn thing. I want you to understand that's the game that they're playing. They're gonna make out big, and the rest of us are gonna lose. Which was exactly their goal. They make out big, and the rest of us go home, if you got a home, impoverished. No, let me go ahead and make sure you understand exactly what I mean, because this is how damn serious it really is. This is how serious it is, people. This is life and death that we're referring to here. And these guys have made a very good living for themselves at the expense of the rest of the society. I went through high school listening to this nigga chuck and jive and bullcorn around and help get Democrats elected, and black people ain't going nowhere. Why did he do it? This is why he did it right here. Niggas come cheap. Niggas sell out the group cheap. You want to know why he did it? Here it is. Here it is. Want to know why it happened? There it is. There it is. He sold out everybody in black society so that he could have a car and a beach house. And the rest of us can go to hell. That's where you're at right now. Understand that. This is how serious it is. He had decades. If you want to know why nothing changed. If you want to know why nothing changed, that's why. If you want to know why nothing ever changed, this is why it happened. Tom made out real nice, didn't he? He made out real nice, didn't he? While black society and the wealth gap exploded. People, do you want to know why it is I told you all you can't trust these old niggas? And it sounded so rude when I said it, because a lot of you were raised by a bunch of old niggas that conditioned you to think it was okay to accept your own exploitation. People, Johnson Publications at one time was making $200 million a year. At one time, Essence Magazine and Black Enterprise Magazine were making $100 million, somewhere around there. These publications were making hundreds of millions of dollars. Tom Joyner making $14 million a year. And I'm asking you all, while their lot in life was improving year after year, what was happening to the rest of us? That's the question I'm asking you. What was happening to the rest of us? What happened to all of that money? BET. We don't have a vibrant black middle class. We don't have an industrial class. Where are our black tycoons? White society, Asian society have tycoons that built the industries that these people's economies are based on. What the hell happened to ours? So don't sit up here empowering people who have expressly refused to do a damn thing for you. Brothers and sisters, do you know what the Black Channel could have done with $14 million a year? Hell, do you know what we could have done with $5 million a year? Do you know what we could have done with that? Do you know what we could have done with a fraction of what these people have got? Do you know what could have happened if we had a fraction of that? No, I've warned you to watch out for them. I have warned you to watch out for them because they have been devouring the youth and they have been sucking the blood of the youth. And they got beach houses, luxury cars, limousine drivers. And what the hell we got as a group, $60 million to an HBCU. We need investment, not more people talking about HBCUs. That's not how wealth is done. But just understand they're eating off of everybody else. And that was the goal. Let me go ahead and make myself feel a little bit better here.
Entertained.
Entertainment and empowerment have paid off. At his peak, Joyner says he was making $14 million a year.
But it has empowered them. It's entertained.
Entertainment and empowerment have paid off. At his peak, Joyner says he was making $14 million a year.
But it got to the point where they would, all right, going to cut your salary in half, okay. And then in half, okay. And then in half 2 years ago, because my salary was based on my results. And not only was I losing affiliates, but radio industry as a whole was losing traction.
My salary was based on my results. Did you all hear that? My salary was based on my results. He didn't say my income. He didn't say my business. He said my salary was based on my results. All these damn decades, and you all didn't know that Tom Joyner was just an employee doing what his employers told him to do. He tried to play it off like he owned something. And in reality, he was just an employee, just like Oprah, just like the others.
If you had been offered more money, would you have stayed longer?
Heck yeah. Shoot, my goal was to die on the radio, have my funeral on the radio.
What's the next chapter?
I'm just going to be concentrating on raising money and putting it in the hands of college students to help their tuition at historically black colleges. That's my goal.
Let me be very, very brutally frank with you all right now. The only reason that old niggas like Tom Joyner and the rest of their kind sit up here and give money to, quote, college students is because that's the only way they can get anybody to acknowledge their damn existence. They gotta pay people to acknowledge their existence. They gotta pay them to do that. They have to pay them. So, because the only way you would look at them is if they would do something. They wouldn't acknowledge his existence otherwise. They wouldn't do it. So you need to understand, this is how far they've gotten. This is how far it's gone. Oh yeah, let me back this up one more time. Yeah, let me find out here, because she's asking dumb questions, but let me go ahead and back it up there.
Shoot, my goal was to die on the radio, have my funeral on the radio.
What's the next chapter?
The next chapter, there ain't one. This is the end of the book, lady. There ain't no next chapter. The next chapter for black media is going to be written right here. The next chapter for black media is going to be written right here. So, Jerica, you're wasting a lot of time talking. The next chapter gets written right here. It doesn't get written anywhere else. If you're not watching us, you're missing the next chapter. But as far as Tom's book, oh, his book is done. We wrote the final chapter of his book. His book is done. And you know why it's done? The reason that Tom Joyner's book is done is because we closed the cover on it, because Tom Joyner had every opportunity, every chance over the last 3+ decades to be a forceful powerhouse and to actually be black radio, and Tom Joyner decided to be buffoon radio. We needed to have a lighthouse where black people could gather and the message of black empowerment flowed from coast to coast. And we didn't have that. We did not have that. Folks, these guys were operating on a level that the rest of us can't even look at here. They can't even look at it here. I want you to understand that. And they've been doing this for decades. And if it's painful for you to actually hear the truth about what the hell happened, then basically just understand that you're replicating what the old church Negroes did. Black folk, I don't want to replicate the sins of the civil rights generation. Tom Joyner was a failure. Tom Joyner was a flunky of white supremacy. $14 million a damn year, reaching over 8 million black folk. We should have a thriving black aristocracy today. Why wasn't Tom Joyner on the radio talking like I do? That's a simple question. Why is it that Tom Joyner wasn't on the radio talking like Dr. John Henry Clark? He had decades to do it. Why wasn't he doing it? Rush Limbaugh got Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, and any other right-winger that he could help to elevate their status. Tell me where Tom ever did that. Oh, he didn't. And he never was. Because he was working with the very people that he told you that he was helping us to fight. And he was working with them. And he got most black folk to say the most stupid and dangerous thing in the world. Well, let's give him some more time. Let's just wait for him. Let's just wait now. Let's give him some more time. You know, he got to play the game. He got to play the game 5 years later. Well, he got to play the game. He got to play the game 10 years later. He got to play the game now. Jason, he got to play the 15 years later. Well, he's still playing the game, you know. He got to play the game 20 years later. Well, he gave some money to HBCUs, so, you know, ain't that the same? He gave some money to HBCUs. But he got to play the game. Now the game is over. Now let me explain to you how we got here. If you'll all remember, this microphone, the new black media told you all that as the Democrats' fortunes changed, they were going to start tossing their house niggas overboard. Remember when I said that and you all were thinking, oh no, they've invested too much into them. They put too much money into them and these folks can just go start their own thing. No, they cannot because they are employees. I told you this years ago and you're witnessing as everything we've told you has come to pass. Tom is telling you this is the end of the damn line. The Democrats are no longer succeeding. They're tossing their house niggas overboard. You can't get the job done anymore. You can't seal the deal anymore. You can't close the deal anymore. You gotta go. From the utmost to the guttermost, you have to go. Melissa Harris Perry, you have to go. Goldie Taylor, you have to go. Roland Martin, you have to go. Tom Joyner, you have to go. And one day, Oprah Winfrey, you have to go. Bill Cosby, you have to go. Cuba Gooding Jr., show me the money! You got to go. Down the line, they have been taking their tools, as I told you all, everybody's getting voted off the damn island. You all just thought I was talking? No! All these people who were big names, or you thought they were making big names for themselves 12 years ago when Barack Obama first came into office, and all these media companies did this hiring spree of black folk because there was finally a somewhat black president, and they felt they had to identify with that. Down the line, you all have witnessed as they've tossed them all overboard. Everybody has gotten voted off the ship exactly as I predicted to you it would. And not just one or two of them. Do you understand the difference? It isn't just one or two of them that have gotten voted off the island. All of them are getting kicked off. All of them are getting booted off. All of them are getting shown the door. Joy Reid, we already know that Joy Reid's living on borrowed time. We already know that. We already know that. It's not even going to be a surprise when she gets cut. We already know that. I told you all, when Kamala Harris starts to lose, look for more niggas. I told you all, specifically Roland Martin, look for him to lose his end. Well, guess what? Roland told everybody that he wasn't going to be on the Tom Joyner morning show anymore, and now Tom Joyner is announcing he's canceling the show. That means he told Roland weeks ago that new black media is whooping my ass, that people have shifted to the new black media, and I'm not going to have a job or a place for any of you, so you better all start focusing on getting your own thing together, because I'm not going to have anything for you very soon. The puppets of the white supremacist establishment are all losing. The puppets are losing. As black people as a group get more focused, the old media puppets are losing. And no, don't expect Tom Joyner to show up anywhere else. Ain't gonna happen. He's done. Because he wasn't dedicated to black folk to begin with, don't look for anything else to happen. And besides, he ain't got the money for it. He ain't got the money for it anyway. Kamala Harris getting dropped out of the race was a wake-up call. Now the establishment is saying, we don't need you anymore. We're going to look to go in a new direction. The white media is now talking the way that we do, people. The white media is now talking the way that we do. Do you understand that? It's not in the closet anymore. It's not whispered behind closed doors anymore. This is from USA Today. The article you're looking at right now, Kamala Harris flames out. Black people didn't trust her and they were wise not to. That's USA Today saying this. USA Today, a year after we said it, they are now conceding that we control the narrative here in the new black media. They're conceding that we control it. Everything that we said a year ago, they're saying now. They held out as long as they could, but that's it. The walls have fallen. The battle lines have broken. They're being overrun. No, it wasn't Russian bots. It was black empowerment. They are conceding that they've lost. They are conceding surrender. They are now trying to establish a fallback position. But Barack Obama 2.0 has failed. So they're going to march out Andrew Yang to distract the, quote, minority vote. And as I told you all, nobody else was saying this, but I was saying it. Well, take a look at this. Well, take a look at this. What Jason Black said from the very beginning, from the moment that Joe Biden entered the race, what I told you was going to be his sole way of addressing people, what I've told you was going to be the sole way of dealing with folk, take a look at this. Now, Joe Biden is outright coming out and telling you that that the strategy is going to be, we need to go more to the right. Well, take a look at this. Exactly what I told you from the very day that he came in. I told you that he was going to be the candidate catering to the soft white supremacist, center-right, or just to the right of the hard right, or just to the left of the hard right. Remember, I said he's going to try to carve off those white supremacist, racist voters. The soft white supremacists. Trump's going to get the extreme white supremacists. Biden is now fighting for the soft white supremacists. I said that from day one. This is what he just said in response to the British elections, that here in America, you shouldn't move so far to the left. That means we going to the right. I am here to convince white society and non-black society that white supremacy shall be on the menu, henceforth and forevermore. Now, I said that when he first walked in the door. Did you hear Tom Joyner say that? Oh, did you hear Roland Martin say that? No, Roland Martin had his lips firmly planted around Joe Biden's ass because Roland Martin is hoping that he can get that coveted media job at the White House. He's still waiting for it. White House press advisor. He's still hoping there's a position available for him. He's still hoping it's there. Still hoping it's there. He's still waiting for it. That ship ain't come in yet, but Roland's still waiting. So if you all want to know why he ain't going in on Joe Biden, it's because he saw Kamala Harris going down, and plus she wasn't returning his phone calls. Joe Biden isn't returning his phone calls either, but Roland's playing the long game because he knows that Joe is going to be the nominee in the end anyway. So Roland is playing the long game, and he doesn't want to upset Joe Biden early. And plus, if Roland was aware that Tom Joyner was getting ready to hang it up, no wonder Roland thinks he's going to try to say that he's the new black media now. No, you are Tom Joyner media. Let us be very clear about that. But I wanted you all to understand where we got this from, but I want to come back to this ham-headed nigga here. Tom Joyner, let us be very clear about why you are in the predicament that you are in today, Tom, Uncle Tom Joyner. You're in the predicament that you're in today because you were a puppet and a tool of the white supremacist establishment. You did not talk about black people's issues. You did not confront white supremacy even once. Your job was to deliver the black vote at our detriment. And we have been working from the soil to dismantle that. And finally, you've fallen. And It wasn't your masters who took you down, it was us. But let me say this in street terms. Let me say this in street terms. Nigga, we took your block. Jason, did you say nigga? I said it. I said it and I will stand on it. We took your block. It's our block now. You were posted up. You were weak. You were lollygagging around. You wasn't on your square. You didn't make the block produce for the hood. So we came and we got you up off the block. You thought you were going to call the police. You thought you were going to call white supremacy for help. You thought you were going to call them for backup. We got you up off the block. It's our block now. We run the yard. It's our block. As they say in prison, we got the keys to the building now. We got the keys. You were the old guard. We ran you up off the block is what we did. We ran Roland up off the block is what we did. And Ricky Smiley, let me send my next message to you, Ricky Smiley. I don't have animosity toward you, but I'm going to be watching you very carefully, because at the end of this piece, I can go ahead and play this for you all right now so you can hear for yourselves what they said at the end of this piece.
I'm going to be concentrating on raising money and putting.
So he won't be waking up till after the noon hour.
That's right. I'm not going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, well, excuse me. Joyner's advice to his successor, Ricky Smiley: super serve the African American community and continue to give back. You know, this.
Continue to give back, considering the fact that Tom didn't give a damn thing, okay? And did y'all hear that laugh? Coon niggas always got the same laugh. Ricky Smiley, let me be very clear and say this to you very plainly. I know that you've gotten pedigrees of your own. I know that you've worked your way up from the bottom on your own. I know you have respect in the entertainment industry and comedy industry on your own. I know you've been working hard on your own. But let me say this in no uncertain terms. We are the black media. You are the radio media. And I suggest that you get over here and join us and become a part of joining forces with us as quickly as possible, because Tom Joyner once upon a time was sitting in the seat that you're sitting in. Tom Joyner once upon a time told himself, I ain't got to worry about them dudes online. I don't have to worry about that. These white folk got my back. I want you to be aware, Ricky Smiley. We got Tom Joyner up off the block. And if you don't start changing your colors, pun intended, if you don't start changing your colors, we can get you up off the block too. Tom Joyner once upon a time thought that he was unassailable. He thought he was invincible. And he found out the hard way, it's a new day. Ricky, you've got a very limited amount of time to get your mess together, because just like I've spent the last decade talking about Tom Joyner, I can spend the next decade, or in your case, maybe 5 years, talking about you. But let's be very clear. If you don't keep it street, if you don't keep it black empowerment, if you are a pretender to the throne, if you don't change up this phony-ass, ham-headed, butt-dancing way that you do things now, I'm going to give you a chance to get your act together, Ricky. I'm going to give you a chance to get your act together. But understand something, that spotlight that we put on Tom, it's on you now. And if you think the white media is going to save you, you better think again. You better ask Tom Joyner if we're able to suck the oxygen out of the room. You better ask Tom Joyner what the black media can do. You better ask him. Hell, y'all better ask the Breakfast Club. I couldn't notice the list of guests on the Breakfast Club has been looking real damn shallow lately, ain't it? That list of guests on the Breakfast Club lately, boy, it's looking weak. It's looking weak. It's looking weak. It's looking weak over there. All of these old black media outlets are acknowledging the new black media and the people that we roll with. They're all acknowledging us. All of them. But understand, it's a new day. It's a new day. Yes, I know y'all are very suspicious about Ricky Smiley. That's why I'm talking the way that I am. But I'm putting him on notice. Ricky, we ran Tom up off the block.
You're next.
Don't think for a second we can't run you up off the block. This isn't a comedy show. This isn't a Netflix special. This isn't a comedy routine. Those rules ain't gonna work over here, and those rules aren't gonna save you over here. You've come into our arena. You gotta play by our rules now. And if you think a multi-million-dollar check in a syndication deal is gonna save you, you better ask Steve Harvey, you better ask Tom Joyner, you better ask Roland Martin, you better ask all these other people who were sitting in the chair that you're about to be sitting in. You better ask your predecessors what happened to them. You better ask them what happened and who did it. And when they take you behind closed doors and start to sing to you the song of the new black media, you got a choice to make. But let's be very clear, we ain't going no damn where. We posting up, we're on point, we're on patrol, we are always ready, 24 hours a day, scouts are on the lookout. There's a zero tolerance policy. Also, we got a hands-off policy. I know I'm going deep into the prison slang tonight. We got a hands-off policy. Like the Latino gangs and the white gangs in prison, we got a hands-off policy. What does that mean? That means that we got beef, we ain't throwing hands. If the beef is on, it's shanking. Ain't no hands. If the situation gets that serious, we ain't out for hands, we out to shank. Tom Joyner had 3 decades to join with us. Tom Joyner had 3 decades to represent black society. He chose to represent himself. So when you all ask, Jason, are you blowing smoke about being the black media? Are you blowing smoke about it? How do you really know that y'all got it like that? Tom Joyner is leaving the stage, and we are being talked about by major publications, Democratic presidential front runners, the ones who failed. They're talking about us. They're not talking about mush-mouth, mumble-mouth attorneys. They're talking about us. And I told you since Kamala Harris got yanked out the game that those people went behind closed doors and said, we got to do something about this Black Channel thing. We have to address that. We have to address the phrases that are specifically made by them. The new black media. Cut the check. Black empowerment. You heard her saying it in the CBS News piece. Black empowerment. Cut the check. New black media. Hell yeah, they've been having all kinds of meetings about us. All kinds. All kinds. No, we're not here to support DACA, and we're not here to support LGBT. We are here to support black empowerment. Don't you dare say the name of the new black media in the same sentence with the dynamic duo of fraudulence. That's not new black media. Those of us who've been in the paint for 10 years, that's us. Don't you sit up here and try to imprint them now because you're just a damn gullible Negro. The work that you see getting done now and the progress that you're witnessing happening now, that is a direct sole result of our efforts. And if you're so easily fooled that you're allowing nothings and nobodies to sit up here and fool you, go over there with them. We're getting the work done over here. The national conversation is changing. We are knocking the old players off the board, left, right, and center. Why? Because Tom Joyner lost so much of his audience that his employers could no longer justify paying him. Do you understand that? He lost so much of his audience, so much of his audience has come to us that his employers lost their justification to continue paying him. This was a war of attrition and we won. Because I don't have a multi-million-dollar beach house. I'm too busy being among my people. I don't have a $500,000 car. I'm too busy being among my people. I'm too busy being among my people. I'm out here getting the work done. I am clearing the deck of the noise, the white noise and the detritus. Now my next statement is to the Democratic Party. Oh, it's a new day. You thought you were gonna prop up your old black media, that old golden oldie, that old reliable that you had been holding up for so long. You thought you were gonna get them back together. You thought you were gonna spin that record one more time, and you found out it ain't gonna work. No matter how hard you spin the record, it's not gonna work. So you've got a choice to make going forward. You can keep trying to pump and breathe new life into the dead black media. I called them the dead black media because they're DOA, they're dead. But you can keep trying to breathe life into them if you want to. Go ahead and try it. And you're just going to see the same results over and over. But keep trying it. You're just going to spend and waste a lot of money. You're going to waste a lot of money. If you want to speak to black society, then you are going to have to speak to us. Going to the fossils isn't an option anymore. Going to the fossils is not an option anymore. Your old black media is dead. Cory Booker was betting on the old black media, and now he can't make it into the debate. Andrew Yang has been networking on the internet. Andrew Yang has been networking on the internet. Andrew Yang had...
That's all I wanted to play. Yeah. It's a powerful address by the Sky Daddy himself. But anyway, other than that, that's all I want to play. Please feel free to like the video, leave a comment, and I'll be seeing y'all on the next video. All right, peace.